The surface of African rivers often appears calm, but beneath the surface lurks a constantly controlled danger. Each time an animal approaches the water's edge, the line between safety and danger narrows in seconds, and an attack can strike before any reaction can form. In this environment, crocodiles don't need to move much. They simply observe, maintain their position, and wait for the right moment to turn an ordinary moment into an irreversible outcome. Crocodiles typically live in rivers, lakes, swamps, and wetlands in tropical and subtropical regions. They prefer warm, wooded areas as these provide easy hiding places and hunting opportunities. Some crocodile species can also live in brackish or coastal waters. During the day, they often rest near the water's edge to regulate their body temperature. A suitable habitat plays a crucial role in the survival and development of crocodiles. Crocodiles possess strong instincts developed over millions of years of evolution. They are patient predators, often remaining motionless for extended periods before suddenly attacking their prey. They rely on their keen hearing and eyesight to detect movement. They are also highly territorial and readily defend their living area when threatened. Furthermore, mother crocodiles have a protective instinct for their young, shielding their eggs and offspring from danger. Across the vast savanna grasslands of Tanzania and Kenya, African wild dogs move like a programmed system, relying not on individual strength but on pack discipline. Each dog plays its role to maintain a robust hunting machine capable of traveling over 30 miles a day. And when the long journey forces them to stop at the water's edge to rest, that familiar moment inadvertently opens up a dangerous boundary they don't see. Beneath the still surface, a crocodile lay motionless, its eyes and head barely visible, patiently observing every movement on the shore. Then, a wild dog approached the water's edge and bent down to drink, the water suddenly breaking in a precise and unexpected splash, transforming the stillness into an irreversible moment. The pack of wild dogs immediately gathered on the shore, exerting pressure with noise and movement. But in the deep water, their advantage was gone. In just a few short seconds, the outcome was clear, leaving a silence where pack discipline could not alter the situation. Amidst the vast grasslands of the Serengeti and Masai Mara, cheetahs survive thanks to their speed and keen eyesight. They avoid dense forests, choosing open savannas to easily spot prey, often climbing mounds or termite mounds to observe before moving. And after long journeys in the dry heat, heading towards the water's edge becomes a seemingly safe habit, yet it hides an unpredictable boundary. on the banks of a wild river, a crocodile lay in wait, almost blending into the still water, silently approaching its target. Just as the cheetah bent down to drink, the water suddenly erupted in a lightning-fast, decisive thrust, transforming the tranquility into a confrontation in seconds. Immediately after the thrust, the cheetah recoiled, trying to regain its balance, but as it was pulled toward deeper water, its speed advantage vanished, and the outcome was quickly decided. The cheetah was dragged underwater and became prey to the crocodile. The one controlling the environment was the victor. Along the semi-enclosed areas near rivers and lakes in East and South Africa, impalas choose to live on the edges of forests and grasslands, where they can both feed and maintain their vision to detect danger, avoiding overly open areas or dense forests. In regions like the Serengeti, they often move gradually down to the water's edge in herds, a familiar habit, but one that always comes with unavoidable risks. Under the harsh sunlight by the shallow river, a crocodile lurks in the mud and murky water, moving low and slow to avoid attracting attention. When a young impala approaches the water's edge, the water bursts in a lightning-fast, precise attack, shattering the tranquility completely. The impalas scatter in panic, the adults leaping to escape, but the young ones are a beat too slow, cornered at the water's edge and instantly seized by the crocodile. Dragged down into the deeper water, their fate quickly sealed, leaving a moment of silence where the ambusher holds the advantage. As day fades over the African savannas and semi-deserts, lion prides move toward water sources to conserve energy and maintain their pack advantage, avoiding dense jungles and also unable to survive in completely arid conditions. When the pride crosses a shallow stretch of water to the other side, that transitional area becomes a boundary they don't fully control. In the heart of the African wilderness, a seemingly peaceful river conceals a battle for survival. A crocodile, having been watching, patiently waited for a cub to stray from the pride, and when the lions entered the middle of the river, a swift, unexpected attack ensued, startling the entire pride and causing them to react immediately. One cub was caught and dragged underwater. The adults pressed to the river's edge but couldn't get any deeper. And in a short time, they were forced to retreat, accepting the loss of a member as they were unable to change the outcome in an environment they didn't belong to. In the vast grasslands of Kenya, Tanzania, and Botswana, African elephant herds are constantly on the move in search of water, especially during the dry season when water becomes vital. They often congregate around large rivers like the Okavango, and when the entire herd descends to the banks to drink, that familiar area becomes a risky point of contact. Near the water's edge, a crocodile lay in wait, its body almost blending into the mud and murky water, silently observing the herd's movements. When a young elephant approached, the moment of stillness was shattered by a lightning-fast attack that instantly threw the entire herd into disarray. The young elephant was pulled from its original position, and the adults quickly rushed to its aid. However, the underwater pull became increasingly dominant, and in a short time it was dragged completely underwater, forcing the entire herd to halt at the bank, unable to intervene further. Unlike other species, zebras typically move in very large herds across the savanna grasslands of Kenya and Tanzania, relying heavily on water sources and always choosing open areas for easy observation, especially during migration in the Serengeti when thousands simultaneously head towards the river, a familiar but stressful journey. Instead of waiting at the water's edge, this time the crocodiles deployed along the current, hiding deep underwater and maintaining fixed positions, not moving much, but waiting for the zebra pack to move into the center. When the flow became denser, surprise attacks appeared scattered throughout, tearing the formation apart in the middle of the stream. One zebra lost its bearings as the current and crowd slowed it down, losing its distance from the pack. At that point, it was caught and dragged underwater, while the rest continued moving forward, leaving a clear outcome as the pack's coordination was no longer sufficient to protect each individual. In the savannas and open woodlands that stretch across Kenya, Tanzania, and South Africa, buffalo herds are inextricably linked to water sources, both for drinking and for seasonal grazing. They rarely leave rivers or lakes for too long, and when the entire herd heads to the water to cool off after a long day, this familiarity leads them into an area vulnerable to exploitation. Along the winding river on the African savanna, the crocodile doesn't stand still in ambush, but follows the water's edge, staying low and moving parallel to the herd, observing their descent into the water. When a buffalo slightly separates from the group and moves deeper, it strikes from an angled position, unexpectedly unbalancing its target on the spot. The buffalo tries to fight back with its strength, but in the deep water, the drag from below gradually takes over, and in a short time, it is pulled out of the shallow area, while the rest of the herd is forced to retreat to shore, leaving a clear outcome where individual strength cannot overcome environmental advantage. In every approach to the water's surface, the rule repeats itself clearly. Crocodiles don't need superior speed, but rely on patience and the ability to control their environment to launch an attack from the closest distance. These situations demonstrate that in nature, advantage doesn't belong to the strongest or fastest, but to the one who understands the boundaries and knows when to act. And it is precisely at the intersection of water and land, the seemingly most peaceful place, that every mistake is immediately